Okay, company tax matters. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are quite a number of extra so-called like different industry focus that was actually being given by the government. But we, for the purpose of today, due to the lack of time, we did not actually move into all of them for our compilation. We just refer to those that we believe is relevant to today's participants. Okay, so first thing first, the tax rate for the MSME. All right, we see that for this particular one, we see that there is this 2% reduced for the first 150,000 chargeable income. This savings is welcome, right? If this amount can be lower further, it will be even be better, ladies and gentlemen. Am I right? Yeah, but at the moment, I think whatever the reductions is definitely welcome. The second one is actually relating to the issuance cost of sustainable responsible investment linked sukuk. So this is for the bigger boys. Okay, now EV car has been spoken about in the first announcement of budget 2023 as well, right? Then we see it being retabled again for for this particular current budget. So basically, I would say there are three sectors of people who are benefited. One is companies who actually rent the non-commercial EV cars. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, for your information, when you do a car rental, all right, your car rental deductions is also restricted. You are restricted to how much we actually claim for the capital allowance. Yeah, for those of you who are actually running a company, you will know what I'm talking about. So how you actually claim your capital allowance, the on the road cost of the property of the vehicle, you only can claim up to X amount. So likewise for capital allowance, likewise for the rental of that same vehicle. So right now, to encourage the country and the usage of the EV car, okay, so tax deduction of EV car rental is now increases up to 300,000. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no mention, there is no mentions on purchasing of EV car, whereby whether a purchasing of non-commercial vehicle car by a company, whether the capital allowance also increases, the on the road price that is above 150,000, does the capital allowance also increases? That is actually not being mentioned. It's only mentioned on the rental of the non-commercial EV car. This is the only sector. So one of the benefit was actually given to the company. So the second one is, this is actually for companies that is actually manufacturing EV charging equipment. All right. So those people who are actually a manufacturer of EV charging equipment or intend to move into this, you have actually an incentive, a tax incentive of up to 10 years with 100% income tax exemption on the statutory income, starting from 2023 all the way to 2022. So this is the span of time this particular tax incentive is actually put forward to, up to 5 years or 100% investment tax allowance to in order to set off, yeah, whichever that you are using. So this how do you call tax incentive was actually put forward for the manufacturer. Okay, now the third one on EV car was actually for those that who support the initiative for the development of the EV car, right? So these include companies whereby that was actually handle how do you call an assembly of cars, or do you call the other things, you know, maybe building of the stations, etc., etc. So full duty exemption on local assembly on the knockdown vehicle, as well as yeah, so this is the assembly of the car. So complete built up EV extended to 2025. So basically, we are talking about the assembling of the car industry, yeah, and then we talked about the industry that who's the people who are talking about the charging station, the charging equipment, and then we talk about companies that who are actually renting the EV car. So these are the three sectors that was actually on the EV industries that I think is interesting, and I really hope that this industry is actually being looked into. Yeah. Okay. Now allow me to move on. Now those people who are actually is a rearer of chicken, right, as well as duck, chicken and duck basically. So tax incentive was being granted. Yeah, tax incentive was actually being granted now, especially for chicken rearer, to move from their open space to their closed house system. So if you are able to actually move that, reinvestment allowance was actually going to give to you in the past, and now it's moving into accelerated capital allowance, and debt deductions would actually allow your investments to actually reduce your income generating faster at the beginning of the year to help you to subsidize your tax commitment basically, and that lasts for 2023, 24, 2025, 3 years. Okay, and food security is something that we see that the government do actually put a lot of attention to. We see that the government look into the food production project. Basically, when you actually have new project on these food productions, the government is depending on the project, you need to submit the project. Okay, the government may look into the expansion to be more like a reinvestment, yeah, type of allowance for you, whereby you'll be enjoying 100% statutory income exemption, yeah, for a period of 10 years. So now this had also now extended to expand to include agricultural-based projects on controlled environment agriculture. Now, what is controlled environment agriculture? That definition is something that for those of you who are in this industry is worth for you to look into and study further to see how wide that particular area was actually being looked into, and then please by all means apply to this incentive and then to get your tax deduction. Okay, now these are merely the extension whereby the bio-nexus status, now we see it to be extended for a couple more years. And then the nicotine replacement therapies, these are more of a medical base, whereby the duty and sales tax was actually being exempted. Okay, now stamp duty matters. Yeah? Stamp duty matters. So basically, we see that this was also announced previously. Yeah, this was also announced previously during the October 2022, that the time when we announced the budget 2023. Now, it's being put retabled one more time. Full exemption on stamp duty are now given for parents to children transfer. However, limited for the first 1 million, ladies and gentlemen, limited to the first 1 million of the property value. So it's still not a full exemption. So this is actually for transaction that is executed from April 1st, 2023 onwards. And it covers a transfer from parents to children, grandparents to grandchildren, and vice versa. Okay. Now, stamp duty treatment for education loan, etc. Basically, last time is for diploma and above, the same for those agreement. $10 is 10 ringgit is all that you need to pay. Now the 10 ringgit is now expanded to all kinds of educations and scholarship agreement, loan and scholarship agreement. Okay, stamp duty exemption on restructuring and rescheduling of loan and financing facility is totally welcome. All right, because at the moment that businesses or individual required to, businesses especially when they restructure their loans, this part is actually a cost to them, right? So it's good to see that a full stamp duty exemption is given on restructuring and rescheduling a loan financing agreement between borrowers and financial institution, and it's now expanded for another 2 more years. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, actually the entire budget, when it comes to tax matters, there are X number of appendixes, 26 to be exact. So it covers various industry that we have not actually spoke about, that talks about the carbon shortages, the agricultural, the biotech, the ship repair and aerospace, as well as taxi hiring car, as well as studio filming. So these are the ones that we have not actually touched on. Other than that, we have actually done a brief highlight. Okay,